Hello traders and welcome to this Bitcoin technical and order flow analysis video. So since my last video, we continue to the upside on Bitcoin. We were breaching some very, big resistances in order books in terms of sell side. And yesterday, I was giving our traders and myself, we've hit two massive extension targets. One is actually from a previous bull market. And since that moment, we continue to the downside. Up here in this region, I identified, and I don't think many people in the world did, I identified we will go for the pullback, and later on it also becomes swing trade for me. Everything what I said right now was posted into group in logical order, and I will be showing you that my thinking process, how I actually analyzed market can go into the deeper pullback. It was combination of technical analysis, order flow, macro fundamentals, and lastly on-chain. On-chain metrics were also supportive over here. There was one sign of weakness which was which was making me worried, and it actually played out. So let me show you that. And in the second portion of the video, we will go over Bitcoin, what we can expect from area we are in, where are the strong supports in case we go lower into the deeper pullbacks. So overall, what you can expect from here. So enjoy. And let's start. I'll be starting with my yesterday analysis. I need to go into more detail from some of it. So, yesterday at 122k around, we've hit area, like it was precise level, but also area, because when we pumped in the Trump, since Trump we were doing big pump, and then we had it, then we went into the big consolidation. And we've put, so this was the first start of the consolidation, and then later on we put very strong low here with high volume and then very strong high. So from that moment I was also watching this balance zone, and I was watching one-to-one extension out of it to the downside and to the upside. This pull become much stronger when you saw such a big respect down here. It means we deviated from this range, almost one-to-one extension, but we stopped at 175 extension out of this range. This was when we were dropping on the tariffs. And what we did yesterday, we just hit the same area. So anyone who was shorting with leverage here on whatever time frame, anyone who panically sold Bitcoin in this impulse to the downside was actually rebuying back the position. Market was destroying remaining liquidity, and you completed the symmetry. You pretty much spent all of the fuel out of this consolidation to the downside and to the upside. Yes, so this is power of the symmetries. So this is the first major reason we went for the pullback. Again, people don't have much things to trade when you push it to all-time highs. So what they are watching, some people watch Elliott wave, some people watch Wyckoff formations. Both things I consider very subjective, because when I show the chart, like 50 people give me Elliott wave pull or Wyckoff analysis, they will be drawing many subjective pulls. This is objective. This is same line for everyone. You don't have as many pulls, and again, very strong profit target region, because usually in all-time highs it all starts as a profit taking. Later on it becomes very strong selling if you want to go for pullback, but it's more of a profit taking. Like people are really scared to short. Yeah, they rather short when you get more signs of weakness, which we've got yesterday. So I want to go over them. Yes, because later on you've got multiple short opportunities for yourself. You didn't have to short the top, of course. So big extension hit. My comment here is very simple, but already powerful. That alone can give us new range. Okay, so you would either range up here, which will be super bullish, or pullback, as people will take some profit here. Why I also talk about take profit, I myself took profit here. It was not very large, but I did so. And many people in the world did so as well, because we've seen that on spot market outflows. And now this is the secondary pull. I can show you this pull in the chart. It's now, let me go to 4-hour time frame, because I don't think I included that pull fully. So we need to go to high time frame balance zone, and we need to find it because I have multiple pulls. This one, daily time frame. And this is absolutely perfect top. Absolutely perfect. And when I show you this, So this was a secondary pull because I posted all 6 important extension targets. I think it's even my previous video, so you can watch them. This gave us pullback of 2%, pretty cool. But then you've got another big 1-to-1 extension over here, and this one was very serious because it was actually measuring proper high of the previous bull market and proper low of the bear market. And that alone is giving you 1-to-1 extension, and you can easily, like, okay, Bitcoin is long-term to the upside, we should be going to the upside, but of course, if we change macro, for example, or Bitcoin gets some bad fundamentals or some black swan event, you can easily continue ranging in here in this region, yeah, in this massive box. And market already established very strong range in good portion of this box. You see that from 175, that was the top from this pool, and it was also telling me market is carefully watching this pool. We are already ranging in this box very bullishly, and final peak out of this range arrived into here. And again, you can view it as like market literally repeated same symmetry as it did here, and now as it did here. That's completed, and now people are taking profit. Yes, that's the only way, because you need to pay yourself how to control greed in all-time high trading, how to predict levels before you even traded them ever. Yeah. You need extensions. So again, I took some profit as well, but we will go over that post in the group. So let's go. And I was also posting the bull CVD played out. So that push to the upside was not surprising for me because we were consolidating all weekend to the sideways, but you see we were creating higher highs and higher lows. I mean, higher highs and higher lows, especially these higher lows. Like perpetuals were trying to short during the weekend and they were getting absorbed. You see clearly delta was heading to the downside while this low was higher. And spot market, look at them, they sold like 200 million on spot market. Did they do good job of taking market down? No, very likely sailor or whoever was FOMOing here and absorbing all the sellers. By the way, as we were crashing down, now we are seeing bear CVD, continuous bear CVD on small time frames and high time frames, so it is forced. Just remember this, the passive market participants are the strongest market force in the market. They can stop anyone if they want with hundreds of millions and these deep pockets, okay? Same to the upside and to the downside. So bullish CVD playing out with another move to the upside. You can see that also on how delta, like all the shorting, rebuying back positions with this big spike of delta. Yeah, also some FOMO longs. You also, what you did when you moved into 123k, you pretty much cleared most of the high time frame liquidity. So moving higher into the 125, 130 and more, it requires more spot buying, and you will not get much help from the leverage anymore. Yeah, because good portion of the big move up was short squeeze. We will see that on the data. Yes, I was also posting in case we continue higher where we can expect future range. In case current high is taken, I'm already expecting another proper high can happen at 129,000. You can create immediate another range here before you get to 150k in Q4. So you always prepare yourself. By the way, you had few setups. You could also short this, no problem, but they were more focused on medium time frame EPA reversals, which means high liquidations, high volume, high delta, high absorptions. When big traders fill their positions, only then they are defending, and then you get that pullback 1 to 2%. Same thing here, you've got the pullback, same thing here, you've got the pullback, and this was actually final high where you should be engaging. And you see on all-time high trading, we sometimes get swing failure pattern, so you can trade this range with long buyers. You've got the swing failure pattern, you could be participating on the long side. This is what I did here, I was going long here, but you got no swing failure pattern, so you are adding to your trade on the breakout. Was also posting when I'm looking for scalp long. We've got scalp actually from here. It was daily VWAP aligning with the high volume node. Pretty cool, but once lost we feel the inefficiency. I don't want to go over everything. I would like to do a bit shorter video than usual, maybe up to 40 minutes. So let's go only for what matters. I want to show you when my bias was changing as well. Let's go. It's gonna be happening soon. It's still very early morning analysis. Perps trying to defend here. I think we've got the trades there. 115,000. We will go over actual analysis because data are changing. You can see how this pullback was happening again. What I was explaining you, relative volume spikes were the best way how to get into shorts, and also you've got the longs in the all-time high trading. So we've got the both, yeah. But again, this was really good because again you've got longs into the highs, 1 billion the relative volume spike, and yeah, since that moment we actually continued lower into where we are right now. Pretty crazy, right? And again, I knew my statistics. I have only 6 core extensions on the chart, and I know each extension we hit, because we hit like 3 of them. Each extension I gave provided scalp or day trade, as you have almost no technical levels to trade with all-time high. Traders paying attention to them. Yes. Let's go further, and I need to see so I don't miss those important posts. Pullback is underway as I expected. So far I did good job of estimating reversals at all-time high push. Yeah, because most of them I actually estimated. Some more distant friends were asking me if it's good time to buy Bitcoin. That's funny because that's like retail FOMOing at top. Yeah, also on Monday I saw a lot of people on Twitter saying we go to 150 or 130k, and some people were saying on Twitter, like those big influencers, never short the Bitcoin. Actually, when you see something like this, when you see some like big FOMO, well, it's time to short the Bitcoin, you know. Classic times. This is very important, by the way. I was telling our traders, so if you got a short at the top from the EPA reversal and that relative volume spike, you were watching how much bears were getting the, you know, because the bulls were full in control here, yeah. But if you got also shorts, head short, then you should be watching how much of the pullback was given to the bulls, yeah, bears. What was their power? And that was also a warning sign the conditions are changing, because I kept the folder here for you. So let me turn off the symmetry pool now. Symmetry is over here. Let's go to 5-minute time frame, and you will now see, look at that. So since I'm just watching all-time high breakouts, yeah. So first we've got the 1.5% pullback range, 2% almost, 2% range consolidation, then massive breakout. Again, we've got the reaction from top for 1.5, then it actually can be extended for deeper pullback, yeah. So 2% from now here, and now you see the change of conditions. So first time in this whole push from 110k, the bears are getting far more rewarded and they are extending further. So this is warning you, the pullback now is becoming, the symmetry of the pullbacks is now broken, and you might actually get deeper pullback, yeah. So always watch this and use the ruler and measurement and watch the symmetry, how much is market waving, yeah. So this is the first sign also the bears can be getting in control. I'm also saying for the deeper pullback, you will need New York session volumes involved in equities turning into heavy loss day. Actually, equities didn't turn into heavy loss day, but we've got the New York session volumes sending market down, and we've got strong bear CVD. Yeah, so that was the big change in the market, and it completely changed everything. Few other posts, we can see the reaction starts to increase from those extensions. Here you are. So I told people and publicly I took 10% profit on spot on Bitcoin. I will use that profit to buy the dip. So it went 122, 123k. Now Bitcoin is much lower, 5 to 6% lower. So this was good. This was not trade with leverage. Trades with leverage I take much more profits. I took 10% of all hodling portfolio. Why only 10%? I could take maybe 50%, 30, whatever, because I believe long term we go higher, and I don't have better asset in the world to park my money. Bitcoin and gold pretty much are the best assets you can hold for longer. Also, anything I say is just not financial advice, education and entertainment only. So again, I I'm really reluctant to sell my Bitcoins into the fiat because long-term Bitcoin should be going up. We have high debts, weak dollar, we have a lot of money printing. All the reasons why Bitcoin exists is just, favorable. We will go higher. It's literally programmed to go higher. And people sometimes worry about quantum. Well, you don't need to worry about quantum for the next 5 to 20 years. It's still just very early. It's just the research. So 10% taken on Bitcoin spot for me is a decent chunk of money. I will use that money to buy on the dip, and of course I still have some money on the sidelines I will use to buy the dips. And you see same like the pullback itself was happening again on profit taking, so I think a lot of people did the same here. They didn't sell all their Bitcoin, but they paid themselves, because one-to-one extension from previous bull market, those are extremely powerful. If you just backtest past 10 years, you will see a lot of tops were given like that when you did one-to-one extension of the previous bull market into the bear market low. We also reached, I can show you this. So we were also in here. This is very good. I made tutorial for this. Extremely good for any asset in the world, not just Bitcoin. We have an internal group tutorial. It's pretty much yearly VWAP, and you have standard deviations up to 3 of them, because standard deviation 1, 2, 3, most of the assets in the world are trading in those bands. You can see we almost kissed the upper band, but again, you are getting very overstretched. And by the way, you don't spend much time above the green line. Only 5% of time, even during the massive bull markets, you manage to stay up. If you go beyond, then market tends to just go into the sideways range or into the pullback to calm down. Same like here. Yeah? You were riding the band, but you were not able to just trade above. This is just extreme move. Like doesn't happen that often. And what we were also, like I was warning our traders, while you are trading in a pink zone is pretty much preparing you for the new all-time high attacks on the asset class. Yeah, if you are in the yellow area, it's pretty much consolidation area if you don't have big trends on macro. So Bitcoin was preparing its base for the new all-time highs, and that's what we've got. I got the older post on this. While you trade, like what's the proper support we'll be discussing a bit later, but again, it's gonna be this area again. If you manage to stay here, then it's just another base for the all-time highs, what we will see. So that's the thing. So this is the change of condition right now. You can notice on the market is still pretty expensive, so even if you took the trade here, you would be doing really well. We've got the scalp from daily VWAP. We can see a large buying interest is coming into the market, but you will see later on this was actually start of bearish CVD, because I'm also saying it's also getting absorbed past 30 minutes. So it's pretty cool to see from key level you are getting new demand, new buyers, but they are not doing good job guiding this market to the upside. And I'm also saying, because some of our traders took that trade, I said very weak reaction from daily VWAP, so just treat it as a scalp. Here is the good comparison how bearish CVD looks like. So look at that. Big spike is in the spot delta, and no problem to lead market to the upside with good, reward, like in percentual terms. Another large spike of buying delta on spot markets, and no problem guiding market up. You can also notice when we hit the 123k key levels and extensions, since that moment spot was not interested in buying, but it actually started selling, and this was from accumulation mode into the distribution. And this is also crucial supportive second tier confluence when you are trading, to watch what is spot doing. And when the spot started selling, market was following really well. There were no bullish CVD absorptions. Look what happened here. So we are seeing massive buyers from VWAP, from daily VWAP, but look at the delta. So we bought like pretty heavy volumes on the buy side, but we managed to stay only in very tight range. And especially here, like huge buyers, but look at them, they were getting absorbed by much deeper pockets. That's what I'm always saying, passive market participants, if they want to stop the market, for sure you can bet they will stop the market if they want. Nobody will breach, So bear CVD now starts to form, and we starts to break down, and from that moment we just continue to the downside. So massive entity, this is how you identified massive entity was already reversing market and just trying to get positioned on the big move to the downside. Yes, people started taking profit, as I'm telling you, first with market selling and then passive sellers placing many limit orders. And I'm saying, so that local move down was not a surprise at all, and it was not what we wanted to see if you took a daily up scalp. Let's go further. Again, I think many market participants are doing same thing as we just hit very big targets. And you can see what happened. So from bull CVD, you also started to see very large selling interest on the spot market, now guiding price to the downside. Yeah, so you also have like a massive change. So first they were absorbing, then a massive sell side. Yes, they were getting. By the way, we've got the informations. This could also be the big entity. We will talk about it a bit later, right? So this is another point of interest for you. You look, if you do swing value pattern here and expand the range to the upside, but we were failing to do so. So because in the past few days we actually did swing value pattern out of such low and never filled the inefficiency. We used inefficiency as a support. Bitcoin loves to do that in strong trends. Instead, we continue to the downside and we filled the inefficiency. So you knew what to look for when you were already positioned in the short. Now, very huge wall also showed up on the market, and it was protecting push to the upside. And I also said I think we will see negative day on ETFs if we don't reverse pullback. Coinbase premium gone, they are taking profit. We actually saw positive day on ETFs, but I think there was even so much there was more selling on overall in US. These Coinbase premiums are very important to know when ETFs are getting involved and trying to hold the market. Yeah, you see here. So they did really good job of pushing market to the upside. You can see also Bitcoin equities pushing for all-time highs. Bitcoin to the downside, showing you extra weakness. We continue to the downside. Some people took long here out of the local support, which was okay to take as a scalp. I just warned them, take profit before we reach into the sell wall. The sell side was here, 1.53 thousand, so 1,500 for Bitcoins. Actually, I was shorting here. This was second trade I was taking that day, so I was not looking mainly for longs. You can see if I turn on the symmetry. Here we are, recent trades. So first short was on total top. I was also adding on a on a bear CVD. On a bear CVD, I was adding to the trade, and now the secondary trade here. We've had the massive wall. He was protecting the upside. I mean, market was not getting to the upside thanks to the wall, and I was shorting here. I took profit, I think somewhere here for take profit one, and then I went to sleep, and then it actually started going downside. So now I have double exposure to the downside. I'm pretty much monitoring. If I see sign of strength, I will be closing this trade. I already had to take profits on a swing short, and I will be adding, if we push to the upside, I will be adding to swing short as well. But I also want to buy Bitcoin on the deep pullback, so it's gonna be interesting. I have now decent double exposure. This trade, again, I don't want to I don't want to see it's going against me, so I will close remaining 40% size if I see some kind of reversal. So very, very good. I'm really happy because I need hedge shorts as well. So take profit taken on a scalp short from large perps wall for 65%. Time for dinner and for sleep. I went to sleep, so I let the market work. It was very good to the downside. So we went over some how I was able to identify the top, plus we also missed the Onchain post. We can go over them right now because Onchain was only completing the whole picture. So we go into this section, Onchain data, we go to my recent posts, and we can speak about them as well. It's supportive, especially I would love to watch this when Bitcoin is at all-time highs. Let's go here. So first of all, I was watching this indicator for overall top on the bull market. It's nowhere near showing us it's gonna be final top on the Bitcoin. Bitcoin is just doing a normal formation of the pullback where you people think you will be pushing on Bitcoin with God candles like each day $5,000 up. Zero chance for that because Bitcoin is now over 2 trillion asset class, many hands in the market, so you will be getting pullbacks, more violent pullbacks, getting bought back. You will have nice structures, long ranges in between. Now there will be no just pushing to the upside. You will have corrections. So, but overall, this is very likely not top of the bull market. We still have room to go. Let's go further down. One thing which was also not signaling is going to be very strong top. Anyway, we've got that bear CVD, so you need to monitor. Like, this is not for execution of your trades. It can be supportive, but funding rates were not so overheating as in the previous cycles. I pretty much watch when we are at 15 million per day, when shorts are getting paid from longs at 15 million per day. We were up here at 7.5, which was not bad. It gave some it gave in the past some tops, so it was pretty much matching secondary. But when you are such overheating, it also can be signaling the top can be near. So always watch funding rates as well. They were mildly overheating. Also now, future area where we will be filling volumes very likely is new inefficiency area. So here we are, this is now air pocket. We didn't transact almost no profit, no proper volumes in the area. Where we are right now? 117,000, right? So you already start to transact volume in the area where we transacted very, very little. And you can bet when we go for deep pullback, you will be populating this area with fresh volumes. Yeah, in between 111k and up to 117k. New distributions should be starting there. Every single asset in the world wants to be efficient. Bitcoin is no exception, and it wants to populate this with proper volume. It needs to. Yeah. There is. And this was the on-chain warning pretty much. There is one weakness to our current rise, and is spot and futures volume. We are in summer, so I would say is a strong contributing factor. Another theory is the move we are experiencing now is coming mainly from shorts getting squeezed on all time frames. We might still see volume coming in later on as higher prices attract new capital. If we don't, I would expect we will feel impulse later on down to 110k and populate it with proper volumes. Again, we didn't see the spike of the volume. Look at that. So spot trading volumes are just said. They were falling actually as we are increasing into new all-time highs. This is not what you want to see. Yeah, it's not only indicator, but you want to see increasing volume into the new all-time highs. You just want to see that this sign of strength. Then if it's not happening, can be signs of weakness, because it can be happening on a push to the upside, can be a short squeeze, yes, on the leverage. And futures volume pulling back meaningfully in July as well. So it's just summer, yeah. So volumes are going down. So who was actually contributing to the upside and why we actually push for these all-time highs? So we can pretty much thank ETFs, and their volume continues to increase, and we can see they compensated lack of volume on general spot markets. So ETF volume was rising. Onchain also was going up in general, but again, spot and futures were trading down. So ETFs were a big contributing factor to the upside. Yeah, look at those metrics. Yeah, and my main theory is why we saw low volume increasing into the highs, because since May we see continuous bull CVD. Like we've seen over 4 billion sold on spot market, while market was going sideways, and then we started trending up. So my theory is this is why we don't see so much volume. There was much less market buying activity leading us to the highs, but there was much more passive market participants who were absorbing. So anyone who was selling Bitcoin on spot market was getting absorbed here with their limit orders very tight attached to the price. And then resulted into massive move to the upside, and it was lots of that was a short squeeze. By the way, you can turn on this coin glass. I will be doing about tutorial about this anyway. Just want to show you this is cool metric, because you can see all on-chain metrics at one place if Bitcoin is overbought or oversold. Very, very cool. Let's go back. So you see why we push to the upside. Now let's have a look on Bitcoin, what we can expect from technical analysis. The one contributing factor, I would say, is pretty big one. Now let me show you the two tweets. So what is happening if you trade crypto or you are a holder investor? You heard about the whale. The 2011 address was moving Bitcoins. 80, or I think it's 90k actually. And all those bitcoins were actually sent to Galaxy Digital. They received most of them, right? So, and the Galaxy Digital now is, what is doing with those bitcoins? Yeah, they are sending them, look at that. So 9.46 billion transferred another, yeah, they are just sending it there. So Galaxy Digital is now depositing Bitcoin to exchanges, and 2000 BTC has been directly deposited to Bybit Empire. And now people are in fear that whale who sent money to Galaxy, and now Galaxy did the OTC deal because it was not 90k was not hitting market directly, but now they are sending bitcoins to other exchanges. So people are really worried they will actually dump or they are already dumping Bitcoin on the market. So one of the reasons why you move to the downside, this is why you always need to keep up with the big news, was I think the lot of the pullback was done on fear those 90k of bitcoins will be hitting market. Well, and this is hard to trade actually, because now if you are longing here, you need to really be very like short-term based now, and you need to make sure you take you cannot be over greedy now, and if you take positions, you better earn for your stop loss at least. If the 90k hits the market from other exchanges, yes, we will see much further downside. We can see even 100k Bitcoin even below, yeah, because that's just huge sell side. On the other hand, if they are just playing tricks, because this can be just a trick to trick the market, and the thing we will see selling while they just want to buy the dip, they miss the highs, and they want to force market into the pullback. It is also possible, and then we will see slow recovery because market confidence will be returning, and market will be thinking, okay, maybe they will not dump their Bitcoin. So you can actually see this, yeah. So this is now hard to trade. So, and you need to watch the news in case they start dumping. I think we'll expect another big like to the downside. So we are now in black or white swan event, and we have no certainty. This is going to, I'm telling you honestly, this is going to be hard now. I will be trading very short term, and I will make sure any position I take, I will be risk free. I will try to earn for stop loss, because here you've got the long today and you've got the swing failure pattern. So this and long area I will be explained a bit later. And you can still you can stay in short. So we will see what they will be doing. I think Twitter will be good job on reporting what's happening. Let me show you one more thing. What happened last summer? Maybe many of you maybe forgot how when some entities liquidating a lot of bitcoins, how it's looking on the market. So we now need to return to summer. I don't have as many posts here, so it's not hard to find. So one of the big entities selling Bitcoin last summer was Germany, 50,000 Bitcoins. And you can see we find out about Germany selling Bitcoin somewhere here, and you see what happened to Bitcoin price. We started going down, down, down. So market did the first move to the downside. It was front running Germany selling Bitcoin. Distribution started here, so Germany started controlled selling. Look at that, this is their balance, yeah, the yellow line. The Bitcoin continues to crash even when Germany was not selling that many Bitcoin, because market again was front running heavily demand selling pressure. Now we've got very serious pullback. I think it was 10-20%, I don't remember exactly, and you see how they started dumping. And the final portion, like they lost the patience with Bitcoin. They were thinking maybe Bitcoin crashes to very low number, so they started dumping very aggressively in few days. But we've seen bullish CVD now, so some entity knew where the liquidity will be heading on what exchanges, and he was absorbing them, institutions or whoever. So, and since that moment we actually found really good bottom. It was also a combination of war, I think here Mt. Gox was distributing Bitcoin, so a lot of heavy sell side for the Bitcoin, but again Germany selling. So this is how it's looking now. We are now at stage where market find out about potential selling of 90k Bitcoins, and if it's gonna become true or not, we don't know. But if distribution starts and those coins starts to be sold on the market, we very likely will see another leg to the downside with similar magnitude as from the top, yeah. So we can easily find ourselves at 110k or lower. But then we will be watching carefully if the spot market is creating bullish CVD, and if someone else is absorbing those people, because the point can come when we no longer fall, even on big sell side pressure. And that's going to be our big bottom for remaining summer. pretty much easily, yeah. So always learn from situation as before, and again now it's uncertainty, so an uncertainty is always bad for the price action again. And now I will show you why you should be in the long up here, I mean down here, just it's scalp and it can become day trade. Here we are. Here is the statistic. I was showing that in another video, but again there is 80 to 90% chance Bitcoin will sooner or later return back to the weekend to grab the weekend liquidity, and this is the same thing we did here. So weekend was trading here, people from the weekend had stop losses below those lows. This is the Friday low, and now as we are pulling back, you are taking out all the greedy people from the weekend. So when you are shorting up here, that's one thing you can count on to close a CME gap and to destroy the weekend retail traders, because volumes were low here. It's mainly weekend and algos. Big traders are just drinking, they are just enjoying holidays. Swing failure pattern you've got here on just on top of the liquidity. So again, but it was good swing failure pattern. You definitely end for stop loss. If you have like take profit one for 60, 40, 50%, you are cool. And you can be in this trade until more clarity is provided to the market again. So hard to predict if these people will dump 90k bitcoins or not. So again, we need to trade what is in front of us. Now let's map what we can, like where I would like to buy the Bitcoin. Let's start with the technical analysis. So again, this trade I missed. I was sleeping here. But yeah, let me show you further. So you can very clearly see, even if I turn on VRVP, 15-minute time frame. So you remember I was mentioning you that air pocket, you know, that inefficiency from this region down to here. So if we continue lower on Bitcoin, I would like to see Bitcoin actually filling all the impulse and then find support from these high volume nodes. So that's more of a, for more bleedy price action. And like truly your proper support is gonna come, like you want to see bullish retest of the, let me turn off this one. We now need to turn on this. And where is previous all-time high is actually here. Yeah, you can do actually pretty bullish retest of the previous all-time high, which is now at 112k, 111k. And you also, do we have this? Yes, we do. So again, when we go into the pullback, I will be looking at this area first, 2-month VAR with two market structures which were resistance for a long time. To be bullishly backtested, and then I will watch the main point of controls and high volume nodes of the previous range. Any pullback into these regions I will consider as a big gift for the market. This is already starting to be really good gift, but we have so much uncertainty if the 90k Bitcoin arrived into the market or not. I think maybe they sold some because we've seen that huge spot selling. By the way, look at the bears, like we look at the CVD, right? So you see the bear CVD was happening here. Again, we dumped to the downside on heavy sell side on the volume. I think these people can actually be already selling Bitcoins, yeah? Or those who, like good chunk of the 90k. I'm not sure, maybe Galaxy wants to sell some and keep some. Yeah, we don't know how much they will sell, but some insider maybe will provide info on Twitter. We continued in the range sideways, yes, during the New York session, while Delta on spot was continuing higher. This was again another bear CVD, especially it started here when we continued a bit higher, but we started curving down. Now big sell-off again on Delta. So you see the volumes to the downside are very strong, leading market, no big absorptions. I'm not sure if Sailor is buying or ETFs or whoever. I don't see much bull CVD yet. No, they are waiting to see where Bitcoin stabilizes. Right now we see spot demand, but we are still in tight range. So you can view this as absorptions on spot market. Once you go into this high and you breach it without no swing failure pattern, then this is like bearish CVD still, because you are failing to do new highs. But if you go beyond the side, then it's gonna become leading. So these buyers were right. So you see there is demand, but they are failing to leave the market yet. And if we will see during New York, you might still get fresh spot sellers from those 90k of Bitcoins and another leg down. So be careful, yeah. So make sure to, again, as I said, if you were engaging at these lows, you must have take profit one for stop loss, like now 50% at least secured. If there will be no selling of those bitcoins into the market, what can actually happen here? This is another scenario where you will find support from this area. You will maybe grab weekend liquidity, you extend a bit further, and then you start ranging, and you will create new range up here in the highs. This is the most bullish scenario for Bitcoin. Again, very crucial area. If you start losing this, well, we can go fill much bigger inefficiencies. Look at those volume profiles. They are begging to be filled later on. Maybe when macro also turns. And don't forget, we have CPI today. Yes, we have CPI. Yeah, look at that, lots of inefficiencies. Again, this low you can also watch for swing value pattern 115k, because you might use a single print as a support and do swing value pattern and bounce. We've seen this many times past few days, so watch for that. And we have CPI today. If CPI comes much hotter, like I would expect large deviation, like 0.3% more. If something like that happens, it's gonna be damaging Bitcoin and equities, very likely to the downside, because it means Fed cannot raise rate, Fed cannot cut rate sooner. On the other hand, if you get CPI lower, inflation gets in line or lower, then it's good, because Fed can act faster to cut rates. It's gonna be very likely positive for equities, and for Bitcoin should be also positive. But again, I think there is that fear of uncertainty from those 90k of Bitcoin. So I'm not sure, but we should see at least immediate algo reaction. Yeah, so be ready for CPI today. So we know what is the very clean support on Bitcoin from technical analysis is again waiting after inefficiency fill. That would be max ideal scenario to find these two areas. And from order flow, we also need to watch where they are placing big walls. So let's see what we can see. So let's see how the liquidity is distributed. Massive liquidity below 107, and in the impulse you also have the impulse liquidity, which was leading upside. So weekend liquidity still yet to be grabbed. We will see if that happens, and then you've got more liquidity from these low as well. So again, another area of interest is here 114k node, and to the upside you've got these two highs into this liquidity for swing value pattern to take as well, and then all-time highs. That's cool. Now let's do analysis on the order books. So first we can have a look on Binance. I need to sign in into OK. Do I have? Let's see if I have this ready, old version. It didn't keep my settings because I was just buying a membership, so I cannot show this. Never mind. I can go here. So spot market is clearly trying to. So you can see there is demand very close to this low. These spot markets will try to cause swing value pattern with these absorptions possible. And then we've got like much more demand after we fill the impulse. So again, much stronger support just from order books is lower. On the leverage, here is that, by the way, that short, look at that. This was 1.4k Bitcoin. This was the easiest short for a very long time, I think. You know how big this size is? Let me show you. So 1,400, and Bitcoin was on average like this. 168 million sell side order. Yeah, so when I was shorting here, I just put stop loss behind him and he was protecting me very easy. You see how we bounce also from this area because we feel a lot of smaller walls, and this was causing exhaustions. So you've got that, we've got the scalp long, some predators are taking that. But again, I was shorting here. After we pushed, I took take profit one. Risk-free position, you need to do larger take profit and tight stop loss, because again, market can easily return back to retest the proper resistance, which is up here. And it's beautiful. It was giving me such a good reward ratio. Like I was risking 0.4% and I got like few percent, so crazy, like 10-to-1 reward ratio. And this short I'm not even talking about is really good as well. What we have here, oh, look at that. So this is Fed. So you see market is already advertising you another sign, another area of support right when you feel the big inefficiency. So from 111k down to 110k, and sell side is now lurking up here, but those are not crazy walls. This was also creating additional pressure to the downside. yeah, leverage is not as much involved. Let's go to TRDR final analysis, and then I will be sealing the video. 44 minutes. I just want to do it a bit shorter. It's pretty hard to do for me short videos because I just need to explain you things, right? So you see there was also a lot of pressure at the highs on the spot markets mainly. Now we are getting a bit of support, but thresholds are not so crazy. I don't want to go over this. We'll be doing so how is the open interest looking? Open interest increasing, and now we have the decent short on here. So in case you return back to highs, they will be liquidated. So we need to be careful. And we also have lots of longs. You can see that peak, almost 3 billion aggregated delta. So we have also lots of longs into the high. So if market turns lower, you will see very likely large open interest decrease, and all those trapped longs will be getting destroyed. So they can feel the inefficiency. This is like a classic scenario we pretty much will be watching. And you see the shorts liquidations were getting crazy on the way to the upside, but now longs liquidations, they are getting there, but they are not as huge as in the past. So the best low given on the pullback, especially if you see like these 90k bitcoins hitting market, will be much larger liquidations, like 83 million or even more, like super exhaustive. Then you will get your swing trade long actually on those such huge liquidations. Yeah, so open interest continues to increase, everybody getting involved. Yes, so you're getting small range because the spot markets tries to support here. Also the perpetuals, they are a bit lower, so we will see. You can see how we actually filled many orders as the latest push. You see how order books got thin on the spot markets. Yeah, we filled so many sell walls here, so they exhausted buyers into the highs as well. And this range was also pretty cool during the weekend with the sell pressure. Let's see where we have demand nodes. Lots of walls into the all-time highs. And now this is the demand again on the spot market. So you can watch this for swing value pattern, might help you. And then we have more below in these regions. Let's see other template. Aggregated spot markets. Yeah, we have more demand here. Yeah, like the whole region. And then of course the ultimate support for us is going to be the Kraken USD. Let's see how it's looking here. Those Kraken BTC USD. Do I have Kraken here or no? Yeah, I do. Ah, they have XBT. All right. Is this working or what? No. It's not working. I need to use Tradinglite. Is, I will be soon replacing Tradinglite with other tool. I will be making tutorials and templates. This thing is just not working. We can do it like this. So we go to TRDR. We'll turn off everything. Because I know there are a lot of orders. I can see that on Okotoki as well. We still have over 2,000 bitcoins buyers here at this area. So ultimately, just imagine if those if 90k bitcoins will be hitting markets or just portion of it, ultimate support for you will be definitely 105k with the thousands of bitcoins on the buy side on Kraken. That should be helping to stabilize the market. I'll be happy to buy Bitcoin for spot as well, because I was booking again some profits here. Also on leverage. Leverage I'm using always. When I make profit on leverage, I just buy assets without leverage. And this is how I'm heading to retirement ultimately, because all the passive incomes are produced from the leverage trading. Not full retirement, I don't want to fully retire, but I will just be more swing trade later on, like in 2-3 years. So don't worry. So yeah, we will see. Ultimate support in case of crazy dip. Yeah, Kraken is defending there still. We can also see this is also supportive factor when the market is going down, funding rate is going up, which means leverage is trying to buy the dip, and they are getting trapped as well. So you want to see that. This is opposite of what we were doing here, negative funding rate, which resulted in the upside. Now people are FOMOing here with the leverage, spot is selling on them, so leverage funding rate is going up and market going down. So that's just bonus confluence for you. Swing template, there was a lot of pressure in the order book, similar as up here. Yeah, look at those thresholds. Yeah, each time you've got the big thresholds like here. This is swing template, so you need to let market breathe. But again, lots of sell side was here on Coinbase and Binance. Yeah, this is why yes, you can get pretty good moves to the upside, but I don't expect just got candle to 140k. There is so much sell side on exchanges. You will have pullbacks. You will have nice opportunities to buy the Bitcoin, to trade the range, to buy the pullback. Pretty cool. And open interest, you know this template. Open interest on aggregated on RSI, which is really good, showing you when market is truly in maximum FOMO regions. If I close everything here, and if I turn on the top orders, each time we reached over 80, because I have these red lines here, is already warning me, but each time we reached over 80, market went into the more serious pullback on medium time frames, right? So you see over here, 82, over 80, big pullback, over 80. There was at least day trade pullback. Here, over here as well, at here, very good. Here, this was not working well. So sometimes you need to understand if there is higher trend as well, where you are trending. This one, perfect top. This one gave us range into the pushing to the high, and now this was the most extreme reading of the past few weeks or even past few months, around 83, and we are getting top. So very, very good. Very good thing to use. You cannot decide just out of it, but it's supportive factor to telling you when people are truly getting destroyed on open interest or overbuying and FOMOing in. Then open interest is doing this. You can use this beautiful template, just this template alone is very powerful. Let's have a look on spot markets again. This is just yeah, there was demand, and this is also why you see a bit of support here. You see before the push, we've seen lots of buying activity was trying to, they will never get the pullback and fill positions. So right now they are filling those positions. Just remember, when you see orders pulled, it doesn't mean they just FOMO in. They can still be lurking. They can still trigger entries with the market orders directly. And so you've got the range with the anticipated spot support here. Yeah, they are filling positions. Is logical area because again, start of the inefficiencies, but market's still very uncertain. Was that that's perpetuals actually, so perpetuals were trying to go in here, and now let's go to spot market. Yeah, spot market again, we already went in other template. In other template, you know exactly what exchange is doing what, and we already see those big walls happening, waiting to be filled in the future, and now more local support. Whales, what are whales trying to do? We've seen that change of condition on whales. I remember my videos. First time they were selling and putting us into range, but this previous week before the pump, they flipped into the longs. They were guiding my price to the upside. Look at those, another more whale walls. They were trying to get filled. They filled only 1, 2, 3 walls and then pushed to the upside. And now sell side, look at this. Yeah, so again, this template very useful. Big sell walls getting filled. Again, they have much larger breathing room. Yeah, so they got filled positions, buy wall failed, and then they started chasing market down with these big sell holders, and they went down. This was the 100,000 over 1,000 Bitcoin order, and now the biggest orders on the buy side from whales are now lurking here again. So you see, they want to get this, they want to force swing value pattern from this low, because they know if they don't stop market here, we are about to see much more serious pullback. So it's big battle, and I wish you a lot of good decision making with Orderflow tools in your battle. I don't wish you luck, because luck will only get you to liquidate you, or yeah, it's just super bad. You don't want to be lucky in trading. You want to be consistent and based on data and all the Orderflow tools. Thank you for watching, traders. I wish you a good trading day, and if you want to trade with us, join our group and learn how institutions trade. Bye, traders.